I can't forget the look on my mom's face when she told me the truth. I still see it when I close my eyes. The guilt in her eyes, the way her hands trembled as she wiped them on her jeans. It was the day I found out she was married to my aunt's husband. But it wasn't just that. It wasn't just a secret affair that had been going on behind closed doors. It was everything that happened after Aunt Sarah died. It was when I found out that my mom wasn't just a widow, but something much darker, something she could never explain to me, even if she tried. I was 16 when Aunt Sarah died. She was my mom's younger sister, the one who had always been there for me. I used to think of her as my second mother, the one who would take me out for ice cream or let me help bake cookies in her kitchen. She was the one who held me when I had nightmares or when my parents fought. And then she was gone. Just like that. A car accident on a rainy night. My mom was devastated, but she tried to hide it. I think I was too young to understand, but I could feel the change in her. It was subtle at first, the way she started spending more time at Uncle Mike's house, the way her voice would quiver when she talked about Sarah. It wasn't unusual. People grieve differently. But things took a weird turn when my mom moved in with Uncle Mike. At first, I thought it was temporary, just until things settled down. My mom explained it to me like it was a family thing, and she needed to be there for him. She said that my uncle was struggling with his emotions and had no one to lean on, so she was there to help. Uncle Mike had always been a good guy. I mean, he was my aunt's husband, and they were perfect together. At least, that's how I saw it. They never fought, always seemed to laugh together, and I never saw any issues between them. They seemed solid. But after Aunt Sarah's death, things shifted. I could feel the weight of their silence when I stayed over. The house felt different, like something was missing, but no one talked about it. Then, it happened. I was home alone one evening. I didn't expect my mom or uncle to be back until late, so I decided to take the opportunity to binge watch some shows and eat junk food. I thought I heard the front door open, but didn't think much of it. Then I heard it again. Laughter. Low laughter, coming from the living room. I assumed it was my mom and Uncle Mike, but as I walked closer, the laughter stopped abruptly. When I entered the room, I froze. There they were, sitting on the couch, my mom and Uncle Mike. But they weren't talking about anything casual. They were kissing. They were kissing like they were a couple. It wasn't just an accidental brush of lips, no. It was full-on, deep, and intimate. I stood there in shock, unable to move, unable to breathe. They didn't hear me. I wanted to scream, to run, but I couldn't. I just couldn't. I didn't even know what to say. It felt like time stood still, like everything I knew was crumbling around me. And that's when they pulled away from each other, realizing I had seen them. My mom's eyes locked onto mine. There was fear there, but also something else, a flicker of guilt. Uncle Mike didn't even have the decency to look ashamed. Instead, he looked like he was waiting for me to speak. It took everything in me to just turn around and walk out of the room. I didn't even want to know what was going on in their minds. I just needed to get away. I ran to my room and locked the door, not caring if I heard them coming after me. I wanted nothing to do with them anymore. But the days after that were worse. They acted like nothing happened. My mom tried to act normal, but I could see the tension in her. She would smile at me like she always did, but her eyes were filled with shame. I avoided her as much as I could, hoping she would leave me alone. I didn't tell anyone. I couldn't. Who would believe me? Who would I even talk to about something like that? Then, the bombshell came. My mom told me one night while we were sitting at the kitchen table that she and Uncle Mike were getting married. They had been seeing each other in secret for months, even before Aunt Sarah's death. I was numb. I think my mom expected me to be happy for them, to be supportive. But how could I? My aunt had only been gone for a few months, and they were already together. I hated it. It felt wrong. She begged me to understand. She said that she didn't expect me to be okay with it right away, but that I had to try to accept it. She told me that Uncle Mike had been grieving too, and that she loved him. I didn't care. I hated the idea. And I hated the fact that she was making me complicit in something that felt so twisted. I couldn't stop it, though. The wedding happened. There were no big celebrations, just a small ceremony at the courthouse. No one in our family was there except for me, and even then I felt like an outsider. Things didn't improve after the wedding. It was like a dark cloud settled over the house. Uncle Mike acted like everything was fine. He started to act like he was entitled to everything, like my mom was his. It was suffocating. And then after a few weeks, I started noticing small changes. My mom would talk about Aunt Sarah more, but it wasn't the same. She'd speak of her like she was an afterthought, like she was just a chapter in the past. That's when the whispers started. I overheard them talking one night after I had gone to bed, my mom and Uncle Mike, their voices low, their words hushed, but I could hear enough. I heard her say, "I never meant to hurt her, but I couldn't live without him." And then Uncle Mike's voice, dark and calm. "You had no choice. She was never going to leave me. You were always the backup. You know that, right?" I froze. My mind was racing, but I didn't want to hear more. I didn't want to know. But somehow, I already knew. Aunt Sarah's death wasn't just a random accident. It was planned. They'd been seeing each other behind her back for months. And then it hit me. The most disturbing thought of all. My mom wasn't just in love with Uncle Mike. She didn't just want him. She wanted everything he had, everything Sarah had, her life, her family, her home. And that wasn't love. That was something darker, something twisted. I didn't know what to do. There was no escaping it, no running away. My world had turned upside down, and the people I had trusted the most were the ones who had lied to me. I don't live there anymore. I moved in with my aunt's side of the family, but I'm still haunted by what I know, by what I saw. Sometimes when I look back at old pictures of Sarah and my mom, I can almost see the lies hidden behind their smiles. And every time I hear about them from someone else, about how happy they are, how well everything has been, something inside me cracks a little more. I still think about Sarah. I still think about how much she loved her sister, how much she trusted her. And I know I'll never be able to look at my mom the same way again. She wasn't just grieving. She was planning.